So, hello and good evening, my dear students. Welcome to day 3 of A to Z of grammar. Today, we will be discussing tenses, which is one of the most important topics of English language. Now, if we talk about definition of tenses, so we say tenses are the tools that help us structure a meaningful sentence by specifying time of occurrence of any action. It also helps us by stating the existence of something. Bear this in mind. What are the tenses? Tenses are the tools that help us structure a meaningful sentence. Structure a meaningful sentence by specifying time of occurrence of any action. Remember this expression, time of occurrence of any action. Whenever I say action, it means it is going to deal with verbs. It is simply going to deal with verbs. Which verbs? Main verbs. This I have already told you. Which verbs? Main verbs. Now, if you are talking about verbs here, observe it very carefully. It can be divided into two parts. Main verbs and auxiliary verbs. If we talk about main verbs, they exist in three forms. If we divide them into regular and irregular, we are not going to talk about that. We will be talking about three forms of main verb here. That is first form of verb, second form of verb, and third form of verb. Present, past, and past participle. For example, do, did, done. Go, went, gone. Eat, ate, eaten, etc. So many verbs are there. And if we talk about auxiliary verb, they can be further divided into two parts, which is primary auxiliary and modal auxiliary. As we already know, there are 13 modal auxiliary plus 4 semi-modal auxiliary. This we will be discussing when we are doing modal auxiliaries. Now that we are dealing with tenses, we will talk about primary auxiliaries. Now, what are primary auxiliaries? My dear students, please remember the box that I'm going to give you now. The box of primary auxiliary. Please write primary auxiliaries. How many basic primary auxiliaries are there? Make this box and you can take the screenshot. Always remember it because they are going to help you everywhere. Here we have primary auxiliary, present, past, and perfect. I repeat, primary auxiliary, present, past, and perfect. First primary auxiliary is do. Second primary auxiliary is have. And third primary auxiliary is be. You can change the order also. If you want to make it more systematic, you can change the order, like instead of writing it like this, you can write be, do, and have. This is an easier way of writing, although it is completely your choice. There are three major primary auxiliaries. Now, if we talk about be, present form of be is an are. Past of be is was or were. You might have seen in primary classes or in very basic classes, you get this blank a good pen. And if you have to write in present, what do you write? This is a good pen. Here be forms. In present we have is Amar. In past we have was were, and in perfect we use been. Especially when you write passive voice. He has done his work. His work has been done by him. Remember it. Now do. Do present. Do or does. Do past is did. Do perfect, nothing. It is not main verb, so don't say do, did, done. It is auxiliary verb. For example, he does not stay here, or they do not stay here, or she did not help me. We never say he done not help me. Okay, now we have third one, which is have, present form, has or have, past form, had, no, perfect form. Easy? Now, if you remember it, dear students, see how easy it becomes. I'm going to give you a simple and easiest trick now. Whenever you find primary auxiliary number one, that is be it is, Amar, was, were, or being. If the verb is in active case, it will always take verb ing form. No other verb form can be used with be when it is in active case. If it is in passive case, only V3. That is third form of verb. I know it is a bit confusing, but once you are practicing it, it will help you. Once you are practicing, it will help you spot the common errors if you remember this. Now, whenever we have do, any form of do, does, did, I have heard so many people making mistakes saying, he does not stays here, she does not speaks truth, or he did not ate anything. Always remember, with any form of do, whether it is do or does or did, we always use only base form of verb, that is first form of verb. And at the same time, if we have has, have, or had, we always use only third form of verb, that is past participle. I hope it is making sense to you. Children, one simple trick I'm going to give you now. One more. Always remember, there is a reciprocal relation between verbs and nouns. What does that mean? See here. Like we have nouns, singular and plural. Similarly, we have verbs, singular and plural. And see the relation between two. Noun, here I'm writing singular, and here it becomes plural. At the same time, verb, here I'm writing singular, and here it is plural. Please just write it and keep it with you. Gradually, as you practice, they are going to help you spotting your errors. Now, noun, if I write cat, what's the plural of cat? You will add s, cats. For example, cats blank milk, drink drinks. We have to supply either. They are verbs. Here this cats is a plural noun, or say plural subject. whether to use drink or drinks. Naturally, it is understood with a plural subject, we have to use a plural verb. Now, we have to decide whether this one is plural or this one. I told you, noun and verb have inverse relation or reciprocal relation. We can see singular noun does not end with s or es, whereas plural noun takes s or es. When when we change a singular noun into plural one, we add s or es, as you can see here. However, when we talk about singular verb, is Amar, which one is singular? Is. Is this singular? Ending on s. R is plural, no s. Making sense? At the same time, when we talk about were, which one is singular? Was. Were is plural. Have, which one is singular? Has. Ending on s. Have is plural. Does, which one is singular? Does. Can you see all the verbs that are singular, they end on s or es? Whereas plural verbs, they do not end on s or es. Yes, similarly, walks. Which one is singular? Walks. Ending on ses. If we talk about drink or drinks, which one will be singular? Naturally, drinks. It is singular. And here, drink, it is plural. Since we have a plural subject here ending on s, what shall we use? Drink or drinks? A plural subject will take plural verb. So correct answer is drinks. Sorry, drink. Drinks will be wrong answer. Making sense? Okay, let me give you few more questions. He play or plays. They Mohan help or helps. What should be the right answer? As you can see, he, singular subject will take a singular verb. And a verb that ends on s or es is always singular. So what should be the right answer? He plays cricket. They help or helps Mohan? Naturally, they, a plural subject. So answer will be help Mohan. I hope it is making sense to you. Let me give you a quick revision. Like I said, noun, or in short we can say subject, there is a reciprocal relation between subject and verb when it comes about deciding singular and plural. You see, verbs, all these verbs that are singular, they end on s or es, whereas nouns, when they end on s or es, they are generally plural. For example, cats, dogs, boys, girls, all these nouns are plural. Making sense? Bear this in mind. Now we will again return to our tenses. As we saw, what are tenses? We have already discussed the definition of a tenses. Tenses are the tools that help us structure a sentence or structure a meaningful sentence by establishing the time of occurrence of an action. Now, how many types of tenses are there? We all have studied. There are three types of tenses, which is present, past, and future. We all know this. Okay. Now, they can be further subdivided into four types. What are they? They are indefinite. At times it is also called simple. continuous, also known as progressive, perfect, and perfect continuous. So as we can see here, we have got three types of tenses, 1, 2, and 3, with four subdivisions or subcategories. So now, if we multiply three types of sentences with four subdivision, we have 12 different tenses to study. They are very easy. We will discuss them one by one. First, we will talk about structure, and this will be followed by uses. So, without any further ado, let us start with box number 1. Box number 1, which is present indefinite, also known as present simple. Dear students, I will request you, do not fall trap to this Hindi English thing. In Hindi English, you learn translation, but you fail to understand the actual uses of tenses. Because Hindi has its own way to follow. Although we can make out, we can understand, but English has its own rule. Clear? Like this present indefinite structure can be used for past actions also at times. This present indefinite structure can be used for future actions as well. Present indefinite structure can also be used for continuous action also. There are different uses. And if you studied using this ta hai ti hai method, you fail to understand those uses. Therefore, it's a request, try to understand English the way it is. This is the only reason a child studies tenses from the very beginning, maybe from class 4th onwards, but fail to understand by the time he is preparing for competition as well. He fails to understand the logic behind it. It's only because of this Hindi English thing. So better you understand the way it is. See, without any further ado, in present and indefinite tense, first of all, when do we use? Whenever we have to speak about routine, something which is done on a regular basis, we use simple present or present indefinite tense. For habitual actions, for habitual actions also we use present indefinite tense. These are the simple uses of present indefinite. We will be talking about special uses of present indefinite tense in the later part. Special uses like present indefinite structure can be used for continuous action. Present indefinite tense can be used for future action. Present indefinite tense can be used for, or structure can be used for past action. This we will discuss later. Okay, fine. Routine and habitual action. Now, what will be the structure of this tense? In order to understand the structure, we will have to understand the basic elements. First of all, auxiliary verb. Which auxiliary verb do we use in present indefinite? We use do or does. Then main verb. What will be the form of main verb that we are going to use? We will be using either first form of verb, or with first form we will be using s or as. For example, play, plays. Making sense? Now let us proceed towards structure. Structure number 1, affirmative. Affirmative structure. Subject plus first form of verb or first form plus S or ES plus object. Now question arises when to use V1 or when to use V1 plus S or ES. Sir, it depends on subject. Like we saw in the previous slides, if your subject is plural, if your subject is plural, say right hand subject. I will tell you what this right hand subject concept is. If your subject is plural, you use plural verb. Plural verb. What is plural verb? V1. Verb without S or ES. At the same time, if your subject is singular, that is left hand subject. Left hand subject. Singular. S, it will take SES. Now, what is the concept of right hand subject and left hand subject? Those who are watching this video and if you want to learn, please raise your right hand. I'm going to tell you your right hand subjects. Right hand is strong hand, yes or no? Now, you tell me children, when, when are you stronger? When you are in group or when you are alone? Naturally, when you are in group, you are stronger. So, right hand becomes a plural hand, stronger hand. The subjects here are I, we, you, they, and plural nouns. Boys, girls, men, women, children. I repeat, right hand subjects are I, we, you, they, and plural nouns. Men, women, children, etc. When you are strong, you do not need any extra support. See, you do not need any extra support. So this V1 is self-sufficient. If I write they, blank, kite. What shall we write? Fly or flies? What should be the answer? They is a plural subject and plural subject will take a plural verb. It does not require any SES. I hope I'm making sense. At the same time, if I say I fly or flies, natural, it will be fly kite. It also, you might be wondering, I is singular. Why are we assuming it to be plural? I is exceptional. I is exceptional, especially in the case of present indefinite, we assume it to be plural. Similarly, in the case of present perfect, we'll be assuming it to be plural. Fine. I fly kite. We fly kite. They fly kite. Those boys fly kite. At the same time, if it is he or she, this becomes singular subject. What shall we write? Now, it is alone. Singular subject requires singular verb. It means it requires extra support. So, what shall we write here? With left hand subject. He, she, it. Any name. It can be Ram, Shyam, Sita, Gita, Mohan, Nita, Mita, Sunita. Any name. It requires support. So, which verb shall we be using with it? We will be using singular verb. How to identify a verb, whether it is singular or plural? Singular verb will always end on S or ES. So, what should be the right answer? If I write he fly or flies? He flies kite. She fly or flies? She flies kite. Verb will end on SES. Now, if you have understood it properly, I'm going to give you few sentences and you have to tell which form of verb goes best with the given subjects. Number one, she talks ill of others. We helps others. My brother study or studies in my source. He prefer oblique prefers tea to coffee. Uh, those boys play oblique plays cricket every Saturday. Answer these sentences quickly. Answer these sentences quickly. She, singular or plural? Naturally, it is singular. And a singular subject will take a singular verb. So what shall we use? Talks here. We, singular or plural? Right hand subject, plural with, and a plural subject will take a plural verb. We help others. My brother, study or studies in Mysore. My brother, it's brother, not brothers. So singular subject will take a singular verb. Studies. He prepare or prefers. Singular subject will take a singular verb. Prefers. Those boys. Singular or plural? Boys. Naturally plural. So what should it take? Play or plays? Play. Plural verb. I hope it makes sense to you. Okay. Perfect. Now, always remember, each and every. Whenever we have these two expressions, the subject will always be singular, and therefore it will take a singular verb. And therefore it will take a singular verb. I hope it makes sense. Yes? Perfect. Let me take up an example. Each boy different. Let me make it more meaningful. Each boy in this class, let me write it again on a new page. Each boy in this class blank different. What shall we write? Is or are? Answer is naturally is. Each boy in this class is different. Every individual blank responsible for this mishap. What shall we write? Is or are? Answer is making sense. I hope you are able to understand this, children. I'm going very slow, but please, 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 it's a request. Do not skip the video. Do not jump to the next thing until you understand it thoroughly. Always remember, the easier things become tougher if you do not practice them properly. Okay, fine. Now that you have understood this, we will move on to the second part of this tense or second structure of this sentence, tense that is negative. Now, what is the negative structure for the same? As you saw, in affirmative cases, we did not use auxiliary. But from negative, we will be using auxiliary verb as well. So the structure is subject plus auxiliary, that is do or does, plus not, plus, children, many of you make mistake here. Since we have already used do or does, here we will use the base form of verb, that is first form of verb. Here we are not going to use SES form. Plus object, subject. He blank not play cricket on Monday. They not help Mohan. Let's convert them into negative. He not play. Subject is there. Now what we have to supply? Do or does. Whether to use do or to use does depends on subject. Subject is singular, verb will also be singular. Now subject here is he. So which one is singular verb? Do or does? For verb, we use ending S or ES. So does. He does not. Now, shall we use play or plays? Look at here. It's only V1. So we shall write play. Answer is he does not play cricket on Monday. Now, in case of do, we will write they do not help Mohan. They do not help Mohan. I hope you are able to understand. Let's convert these sentences quickly. Let's convert these 5 sentences into their negative forms. She talks ill of others. What will be negative? She does not talk ill of others. We help others. Negative. We do not help others. My brother studies in my store. Negative. My brother does not study, not studies. My brother does not study in my store. Those boys play cricket. Negative will be those boys do not play cricket every Saturday. I hope it makes sense to you. So for today, we will end the class here. As you can see, we have done very little, but as I said, we'll go little by little. Understand it properly, digest it, and then move on. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Until then, bye-bye.